everybody. This is Joy Ting from the Virginia Winemakers Research Exchange, and I'm here with Harvest Tips for Winemakers. Tip number 8, tannin extraction is an art. There are many winemaking decisions that contribute to the final structure and mouthfeel of red wines, and getting the balance right isn't always easy. Today, we'll talk about a few things to keep in mind as you manage tannin extraction in your red wine fermentations. Tannins are an important component of red wine quality. They serve as antioxidants, help stabilize color, and some even have antimicrobial properties. But mostly, they are the form of phenolics that contribute to astringency in the wine. But not all tannins are the same, so it's wise to consider where different types of tannins are located in the grapes and what that means for your winemaking decisions. About 50% of the extractable tannins come from grape skins, while 44% are found in the seeds. If you add stems to this equation, the overall amount of extractable tannin increases by 20%. Tannins are composed of long polymers of phenolic subunits. In general, seed tannins are less polymerized than skin tannins, which means that they're often perceived as harsher or more bitter and less desirable than the skin tannins. The first thing to consider with tannin extraction is how ripe your grapes are. We talked all about phenolic maturity in tip number 3. When grapes are riper, skin tannin becomes more extractable and seed tannin becomes less extractable, which allows you to build a more pleasant, structured wine overall. If your grapes are less ripe, or if you're planning to age for a shorter time, you may want to limit tannin extraction instead. Once you pick the grapes, many of your decisions in the cellar will determine how much tannin makes it into your wine. Tannins are more extractable in alcohol than water, and the more alcohol you have, the more tannin will be extracted. That's why cold soak doesn't really increase tannins, but chaptalization does. Wine from crushed berries has more tannin than wine from whole berries because tannin extraction increases with surface area. Crushing berries exposes more surface area of skin to alcohol. For reference, crushing just enough so the grapes look like little Pac-Mans is a good amount of surface area for extraction. During fermentation, tannins move from vacuoles in the grape skins into the fermenting wine by diffusion. If no other mixing occurs, the gradient between grapes and wine becomes less steep, eventually leading to a local saturation. Cap management by punching down or pumping over refreshes the concentration gradient so that tannin can continue to move into the wine. Heat is another factor. Like all chemical processes, extraction happens faster when things are warm. Hot fermentations tend to extract more tannin. Time also matters. Phenolics begin to enter the wine as alcohol builds up. The longer the seeds and skins are in contact with the wine, the more tannin will be extracted. If your grapes are ripe, the skin tannins will extract first. Seeds have a layer of lignification and a cuticle on the outside that takes time to break down. After about 20 days of contact, seed tannins will start to enter the mix. Immature seeds lack lignification and will give up their tannins much sooner. The decisions you make at each of these steps will depend on your winemaking goals. If you want to make a fresh, early release red wine, you may choose to harvest sooner, perform a cooler fermentation with whole berries, limited chaptalization, and press off as soon as the fermentation is complete. If you want to make a structured, ageable red, you might want to consider harvesting later, chaptalizing if needed, crushing the fruit, and fermenting warmer. You might do cap management more often. These wines might also see more extended macerations. Whatever your winemaking goals, I hope this helps as you practice the art of extraction this harvest.